I have to do is not say anything negative about Uber at all. Really, nothing. Oh, yeah, I'll promote them a little. Sure. Sure. Don't say anything negative and promote Uber. And you'll send me the check. Ha, that's awesome. All right. Well, yeah. Yeah, fill out the check to, Jonathan at... Crap, you know what? I gotta go. Hey! No, nothing to see here. Let me turn this thing off. I'm gonna be doing a small series of videos, and I'm gonna combine them all into one, but I'll take them all and put them out individually. If you want to watch them that way, it doesn't matter, because it might be a little bit long, and by long I mean like 10 or 15 minutes. My videos are usually 2 to 3 minutes, because I try to keep everything condensed into one little area. But this is just going to be a general what is Uber topic, and I think you'll enjoy it. So it's starting to rain out here, so I'm gonna get in my car. Got my kid here, he's taking a little bit of a nap, so you'll see him in the background, and we're gonna drive around and we're gonna talk about Uber. All right. So I want to talk for a couple minutes about our relationship with Uber, and why knowing what that relationship is really important, especially when it comes to all these other things I'm going to be talking about in this video series. And there's just look, we're private contractors. We don't work for Uber. We work for ourselves. And here's how it works as I see it, how Uber says it is, and all that kind of stuff. We offer a specific service, and Uber connects us to people who want to pay for that service. Again, that bears repeating, because it's so simple that a lot of people just they can't wrap their heads around this. And I apologize if I'm talking down, really not trying to talk down to anybody, but the way it works is we offer a service, a very specific service. Uber connects us to people who want to purchase that service, and that's it. We're being paid on a per job basis by customers. That Uber is finding those customers and connecting us. They're collecting a percentage of the fee, what the customer pays. Uber's collecting a percentage of that, and essentially they're a lead generating platform. That's really all Uber is. And you know what? It's a heck of a lot like eBay, except instead of products, we're selling a service. The application is simply, and I say this over and over and over again, it's simply connecting us to people who want to purchase our products or services. eBay is literally an application that connects people who sell things, products, physical products, and in some cases services. But eBay is connecting people who sell things to people who want to buy those things. Now, does selling a lot of stuff on eBay, does that make you an eBay employee? No, it doesn't. Not in any way, shape, or form does that make you an eBay employee. You could sell 100,000 items a year on eBay and still not consider yourself, and nobody would consider themselves an employee of eBay. Oh yeah, but we might as well be employees because because cashiers, they sell things for big companies too, and it doesn't work that way. If you're an employee, you're an employee. If you're working for yourself and you're offering a specific service and you're using an application to connect you to people who want that service, then it is what it is. It's just that simple. That's our relationship with Uber. And that's our relationship with the passengers too. The passengers are paying us. Uber is collecting that payment. Absolutely. They collect the payment, they take their cut, and then they send us the money. But you don't have to partner with Uber. You can have the Uber sidecar and Lyft application running on in your car at the same exact time, and just take whichever one generates you the most leads, whichever one you decide you want to use on that occasion. So for example, if I'm selling a product on eBay and I also have it listed on Amazon, I could also sell it on my own private website. I mean, there's a lot of different things you could do with that product, and that's the same thing. You're selling a service. You are offering rides to people who want to pay for rides. That's what you're doing. You're working for yourself. You're your own company. You could argue, and a lot of people do this, oh, well, eBay doesn't set the prices. Well, yeah, they do. eBay absolutely set. Try selling a PlayStation for $1,500 on eBay. You can't do it. They cap those prices. Try selling, there are certain circumstances where, just like surge on Uber, which is really funny that there is a really good correlation here. But just like during higher demand periods, eBay will allow higher prices, or items to be sold for higher prices. But in most cases they don't. They don't allow you to go above a certain amount of money. They also don't allow you to sell a lot of different things that normally, other storefronts would let you sell. On top of that, during the holiday season, I noticed, and right around the iPhone cycle, like when the new iPhone comes out and the old one, eBay starts sending out these emails and they start advertising, hey, we're going to guarantee that your iPhone sells for the X amount of dollars, and if it doesn't, guess what? We're going to send you a check for the difference. That's exactly what Uber does with guarantees. I mean, Uber isn't doing anything new. There's nothing really new about the Uber platform. They are simply a lead generating platform. But you know what's really nice about Uber is that they are connecting you to quite a few customers. They're giving you the opportunity to connect to these customers that you wouldn't have before. Uber is spending hundreds of millions of dollars on lawyers, on lobbyists, on marketing campaigns, public image campaigns. They are fighting for your right. They are literally, Uber as a company is literally fighting for your right to be able to sell your services to other people. Now, guess who else benefits from that? Lyft gets the benefit from every single court case that Uber wins. Sidecar benefits from every single court case that Uber wins. In fact, the cab companies, in the long run, and they're starting to see it in the short term as well, the cab companies are benefiting from all these things that Uber has done, all these fights that Uber is engaging in on so many different fronts. But all these companies are benefiting, and you're benefiting from the hundreds of millions of dollars in just investment that Uber's making in protecting your right to be able to sell a service. For one, I do. I applaud Uber for that. I am extremely grateful that there's at least one company out there who takes the stance that you should not be restricted. Like, you should be able to sell what you want to sell. Your service, your product, and all that kind of stuff without the government getting in the way. Because that's a whole other video, government getting in the way, and I'll probably never make that video. There's plenty of other people who are way more intelligent than me fighting that fight. But I'm extremely happy Uber's fighting for me and us in the way that they are, because it's just, I think more freedom and more liberty is always a good thing. So, to summarize everything I just said, I already did. Really, within the first 30 seconds of talking about this particular topic, I summarized what our relationship with Uber is, One, we're selling a service. Two, people want to purchase that service. And three, Uber is connecting us, much like Lyft, Sidecar, eBay, all that kind of stuff. Uber is connecting us to the people who want to purchase that service. That's our relationship with Uber. Nothing more, nothing less. Uber is a lead generating platform, and they have never tried to be anything different. I'm going to try to be quick about this because tips is a really sensitive issue. Here's my take on tips. It's pretty straightforward. If you haven't watched my other video regarding our relationship with Uber, go ahead and watch that. If you're watching the long video right now, that's already been cut right before this little section. Anyway, my take on tips has everything to do with our relationship with the customers and our relationship with Uber. See, customers have a lot of options when it comes to transportation. Some want to take the bus, some want to take Uber, some want to take a Lyft, some want to take a train, some people just want to, drive themselves. See, you're putting yourself in a position of being one of those options. If somebody decides to use Lyft, they decided to use Lyft for one reason, or two reasons, or whatever. They decided to use Lyft because they like it in one way or another better than they like Uber or Sidecar. Now here's the thing, you can drive for any platform. You can drive for all three of them at once, all 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can be your own driver. Get yourself a commercial license. Anyway, the people that are requesting that ride are requesting you as an Uber partner for a reason. And the reason they're requesting you is because they like the things that, they like the way that Uber works. There's no tipping, there's no... there's just nothing. You hop in and you hop out. It's one of the world's most unbelievably easy transactions. There's been nothing like that before in the transportation industry because, we haven't had the technology and all that kind of stuff. There's similar business structures, like I talked about eBay and Amazon before, but there's never been anything quite like Uber in the ease of use, and that's what they're trying to go for. They're trying to make it so unbelievably simple to request an Uber, hop in the car, get out of the car, and you're done. They're just trying to make it unbelievably simple. And you know what? It's working. Passengers love it. In overwhelming numbers, passengers love the Uber platform. We all know this. Some people still take Lyft. Some people want to tip their drivers. I've been driving for Uber for a while now, and I still get tipped. I've gotten $200 or $300 in one night. Somebody, I remember a while back, somebody tipped me 2 beautiful, unbelievable box seat tickets to a NASCAR race. Now, I don't like NASCAR, but I looked up those tickets. They were worth $500 a piece. I got 2 tickets for the whole weekend. And it was about $1,000 worth of tickets. Me and my wife went. We had a great time. And, still not a huge fan of NASCAR, but it was just a really great time. Anyway, tips are awesome. Tips are great. But Uber's doing nothing wrong by discouraging passengers from tipping their drivers. In fact, that's a driving reason that a lot of passengers take Uber to begin with, because they do have other options. They're choosing the platform that discourages tips. So as a driver, if you're sitting there and you're putting up your little signs and your little tip jars, and you're commenting about tips, or you're incorporating the tips into your stories and all that kind of stuff, or your small talk, what you're doing is you're essentially telling that passenger, hey, you chose the wrong ride-sharing service. You should have taken Lyft or Sidecar, or you should have done something else. You're an idiot. You know what? You almost guarantee that you won't get a tip by putting that stuff in your car. You'll get a heck of a lot fewer tips, and at least less tips than you would have gotten if you hadn't have done that kind of stuff. And in a lot of cases, a lot of you guys aren't good at that kind of small talk. I mean, shoot, I see the way you talk to other people in the forums, and yeah, if you're anything like that with your passengers, then holy cow, you're not going to be driving anything or working in any service industry for very long. Anyway, my take on tips, really simple. If you want to make tips, drive for Lyft. Is Uber oversaturating the market with drivers? Well, my answer is no. It might not seem obvious to a lot of people, but let me explain my reasoning for that. One, Uber doesn't employ any drivers. They don't own any vehicles that are used for transportation. So even if Uber wanted to, they could not oversaturate the market with drivers. That's not Uber's role. Uber's role is connecting existing drivers to existing passengers. Now, a lot of people are going to see the ride-sharing applications and platforms and stuff like that, and they're going to decide, hey, you know what, I really like this. I want to be a partner with Uber. I want to drive for Uber. And that's going to create a new driver. A lot of people are going to see these ride-sharing services, and they're going to think to themselves, shoot, well, this is really convenient. I can get to work really inexpensively, or there's a more convenient way to get home at 2-3 o'clock when the bar's let out. So I'm going to become a passenger, and I'm going to download that app, and I'm going to request an Uber. The thing is, Uber markets their application to drivers, and they market their application to passengers. They do this as much as possible. They try to get as many drivers signed on as they can. They try to get as many passengers signed on as they can, because the more those two things, the more of those two quantities they have, the more money they can make for connecting the two. And I constantly come back to this eBay example. eBay is constantly promoting sellers, and they're constantly promoting buyers. They're anybody remember those old eBay commercials where, it was like people dancing with these outrageous things they bought because they were making untold hundreds of thousands of dollars selling on eBay, and they were making their eBay millions, and people loved selling on eBay. And then eBay's also marketing to all the people who want to buy things. And sure, it's really saturating the eBay market. What that means, what I mean by that is it's there's a huge amount of people. There are hundreds of thousands, if not maybe millions of people selling on eBay, and there's more people selling every single day. There's more people not selling every day. They quit. But eBay isn't flooding the market with salespeople. They're not flooding the market with people willing to sell things for money. All they're doing is connecting those people to other people. It's so ungodly simple. I can't. I just wish I could get it through, like this thought. And maybe I just can't put it into words because I'm not good at words or something like that. I've always been good at explaining things, but this is so simple. I personally don't feel like this needs explanation. Uber is not a transportation company. They're not. They connect transportation companies, which is us, to passengers. And you're going to see this trend running through all these videos, me just explaining that same point and driving it in over and over and over again. Because here's the thing, when you understand that basic concept, that basic principle, the reason Uber exists, you start to understand why they do the things they do. And getting as many people on the platform as possible, absolutely. It would be a terrible business idea for them to cap the number of drivers. that are on that platform. It would be it would be insane for them to try to limit how many customers are on that platform. It's a nightmare. Trying to tell a company like Uber, who simply makes an application, that what they're doing is not okay. I mean, people, I just don't understand where this comes from. The idea that Uber is some sort of employer of yours, or Uber employs anyone but its support staff, and it just doesn't make sense. Uber is essentially eBay for ride sharing. I mean, they're getting into other things too: food delivery and ice cream delivery, delivering puppies to people who want a pet pup. I don't know. They literally do this stuff. I'm not joking. Helicopter services, and I guess boat rides and stuff like that. Maybe they'll get into Uber trains. My son loves trains, but yeah, Uber's not oversaturating the market with drivers. Uber's providing an opportunity for people who already drive cars. They're providing that opportunity for people who already drive cars to make a few bucks with the car that they already own. I mean, it's as simple as that. In the same way that eBay is providing the opportunity for people who have a bunch of extra stuff to sell that stuff to people who want that stuff. I mean, there is nothing more basic than that. Uber's not unique in any sense, business strategy wise. They have there's nothing new under the sun when it comes to Uber. Nothing. They're doing the same thing hundreds of companies have done and are currently doing, and in a lot of ways have become incredibly successful doing.